Hi guys, this is Sarah Morris, your career coach, and today we're going to talk about 5 reasons why it's time to find a new job. Number 1 is you can't be yourself at work. Now there's a number of reasons why you might not feel yourself in the workplace, and one of the reasons might be that the workplace just isn't aligned with your values. So for example, if you really value honesty, but you find that the management or the product or service you're working on isn't very honest with its clients or customers, that's not going to make you feel good if you really value honesty. Or let's say another example, you really value the environment, but in fact with your job you're working on something that is churning out loads of carbon dioxide or loads of plastic into the environment, then again that's not going to make you feel so good. Another way you might not be able to be yourself at work is that you just might not match up with the social environment. If you can't feel at ease to be yourself, then that might be another reason why there might be another workplace that might suit you better. And part of that is if you can't share your opinions, if you don't feel that you can just be at ease and share your opinions with others, then that's a sign that maybe that environment isn't quite right for you. So number 2 on the list of reasons why it might be a good idea to change job is that you don't actually care about what you're working on. Have you ever had a job like that? I know I have, where I really just don't care at all about the thing that I'm dedicating 8 hours a day, 5 days a week to. And research actually shows that to be happy, we need to focus our thoughts and our time doing things that we either really enjoy or that we find purposeful. So if you're doing a role which isn't that purposeful, you just don't really care about it because you can't see the purpose in it, or it isn't that crazy exciting fun, it's not going to make you happy. So really when you're doing a job, you need to be doing something that's not only aligned to your values, like I mentioned in number 1, but also that has some kind of purpose that you are aligned to and that you feel is right. So a relatively boring jobs can have purpose if you can see an end point or a goal to them. But if it has no meaning to you, then that's a good reason that another job sector or organisation is maybe going to be the right choice for you. Number 3 on the list is a very common one, a toxic social environment. So workplaces where you go in and you find that there's just an air of negativity, where people are complaining about everything all day long, and you can get swept up in that too. Maybe you're also one of the people that's complaining because everybody else is complaining. It can be hard not to get swept up into that. That's another sign that it might be time to leave. When people are unhappy, it can just be like a spiral of negativity where management do something that can just never be right. Nothing's going well, and people are just complaining and complaining and complaining all day long. And when you think negatively, you're also you got to feel negative as well. Thoughts lead to feelings. It's a neural pathway. So when you think about negative things, you're going to feel negative and feel bad. When you think about positive things, you're going to feel positive. And so if you're in an atmosphere of negativity all day, it's going to make you feel bad. And if you can't see an end point to that, if you can't see that the workplace is going to change and people are going to be happy at some point soon, then it's really time to think about finding a better environment where you can be happy and others are happy to be there. 4th thing on my list is that you're no longer learning. Learning is really important in the workplace because actually that's going to help you progress professionally. So if you're not challenged or you're not taking on roles that are actually stretching you a bit or helping you learn new things, then when you go to your next role, you haven't really gained anything. And it's going to lead you to stay at the same level for months and months or years and years. And so really you should be in a role that's helping you learn new things. This is what excites us usually. And some people, of course, are happy to do the same thing day in, day out, something they know well, something they're really good at, and just continue doing that. And that's fine for those people if you're happy to stay at that level and remain in that position. But for a lot of people, you want to progress, you want to learn, you want to feel that you're somehow yourself actually developing. And if you feel like you're not really developing yourself professionally, then it really is time to think about finding something where you are going to be stretched or challenged a bit, or actually get to learn something new and get to work on something new and exciting. And number 5 is you don't feel respected. Perhaps you've got a micromanaging boss who's on top of you all the time, checking what you're doing all the time. Or, it could be even something worse like that you're actually feeling bullied by someone. Whatever it is, you don't feel that you're being respected as a person, as a human. And that will also lead into these other things that we've already talked about, like not able to be yourself, or feeling negative all the time and that kind of thing. So it sort of links in with those. But if you don't feel respected, then that's a really awful position to be in. And I know in my jobs, I've certainly been micromanaged before, and it was a horrible experience. I used to get migraines every Sunday or every Monday. I'd have a migraine, and it wasn't for months that I realised what was causing the migraines. It was a subconscious thing that was happening sort of towards the end of the weekend and the start of the week, where I was having to think about this micromanagement that was happening, this boss that was literally planning every day of my every hour of my working day, and it was a nightmare, really. And those migraines finally went away when I addressed the issue. And bullying, that's a really awful thing. That's even worse, where you think that bullying ends at school, but really it doesn't. It certainly can happen in the workplace, and probably happens more in the workplace than in the playground, because there's nobody actually checking up or expecting it. And often there's not really procedures in place to sort of stop it before it gets bad. And so if you're being bullied in the workplace, then it's an absolute must to stop that by going to HR and making a formal complaint about it, and also just moving on. There's no point in staying in a place where you're going to be bullied. And I've experienced that myself in the past, and it was really bad, and it did affect me for a number of years. So we've gone through the 5 things. Just looking at moving on to a new job, one thing I will say is, before you move on, unless things are really desperate, it is a good idea to make sure that you really know what you want and where you're going to go, and be sure that the place you're going to go is better than the place you're in now. Because so often people make a leap and they're all excited to make the move, and they actually end up in a place that's worse than the place they're in now. So you really do want to make sure that you know what you want, and that the place you're going to is going to give you what you want. And of course, another way to address these issues can be just sitting down and talking to management. I would say always is best to try that route first, actually, for some of these things. So, for example, when I was being micromanaged, I did actually pluck up the courage after 4 months, a bit too long, really, to talk to this manager about it. And to be fair to her, she did stop. She took it on board. It worked. She took it on board and did stop micromanaging me. And guess what? The headaches went away, and that's when I finally knew that the headaches were being caused by the micromanagement. So, sitting down and talking calmly to people and positively to people and enthusiastically, and telling them that there's a problem and this is how you feel it could be solved, is never a bad thing, so long as you keep it in a kind of neutral, non-emotive way, and you have a sort of positive approach to it. Even if you're not feeling positive, it can just be good to look and seem positive at least, and come with a solutions-focused conversation rather than a problems-focused conversation. So there you go. There are my 5 reasons why it might be time to quit your job. I hope you liked it. Please do subscribe. Please join my Facebook group and drop me a PM if you would like to chat anymore. I'm always willing to talk to you. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.